you today?
Doing great. How are you?
Good. I just was inviting you in to talk about your observations throughout the year and kind of see how your first year was. So tell me, what were some of the things you thought?
I love it. I love our building. Everybody's been so welcoming.
Great.
I love kindergarten. This is what I've always wanted to do, and so it's been a really good year. I'm really excited.
Good. So I know first year has a lot of struggles.
It does.
Do you want to talk about some of the things that you...
Well, just when you are going through school and stuff, like you just never really see the beginning of the year, and so I found that was really hard for me at the very beginning. I kind of knew what a classroom was like when it was already set up, but getting it set up on my own was a little harder than I thought it was going to be.
I understand that. Okay. Well, I'm just going to dive on in.
Okay.
One of the things I saw that you did really well was your students always seemed like they were having a blast when I walked in.
Great.
They were always excited. You made a great connection with them, and they seemed to really love you.
That's important to me. I want them to love school.
Well, I think you did a great job. There are a few things that I think we can probably build on to maybe have a better second year.
Okay.
I love having you here. I don't want you to leave. I think you're a great asset to our building. But I want to talk about organization.
Okay.
That's something I think that a lot of people don't value in the classroom, but it has a lot of benefits.
Okay.
Because if you're taking the time to ruffle around pages to find your papers to pass out and things like that, you're taking away time for instruction, and the kids can kind of lose interest and start talking, and you see some behavior issues.
Okay.
And things like that. And I noticed sometimes when I would walk in, it seemed like there were a few stacks of papers and things on your desk that maybe just kind of slipped through the cracks.
Organization might not be my strong suit.
Yeah, and that's...
I'm really good at making piles.
Everyone has their strong suits, and I totally understand. But that would probably be a good thing to talk to your mentor, Debbie, about, and try and see if she has some tips as what she does throughout the year, because her desk is always perfect, it's always clean. Maybe she can give you some tips on that, and it would help you try and find a good medium ground.
Okay.
Another thing I noticed was student engagement. I know kindergarten is hard to keep them engaged all the time. But sometimes when I walked in, it seemed like you were up talking a lot, and the kids weren't really listening.
Okay. We've got a lot we've got to get in. I mean, I'm just trying to get them ready for that next grade and everything.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, I can see, but them moving around the classroom and stuff isn't really a problem for me. I think that they can be moving and still listening.
I agree. They definitely can, as long as it's within reason.
Okay.
And just make sure that, I know it's hard with kindergarten to make sure our lessons are appropriate for them. I know it's hard because we fit so many different things into our day, and the 5 and 6 year olds don't really listen that well. But we need to kind of find a level ground so that they can be up and moving and listening, but they're also still not being disruptive.
Okay.
So, and we have tons of resources on lesson plans and student engagement in the book room. That might be something over the summer if you wanted to kind of check out and see, get some ideas for this following year.
Perfect. I can do that.
Yeah, I think you can too. Professional dress.
Okay.
Sometimes I've noticed that you've been wearing like jeans and even some yoga pants. And I try and reserve jean days just for Fridays. I try to give you guys some throughout the week whenever we have the opportunities for charities and things like that. But I've noticed sometimes when I haven't said anything about a jean day that you're still going ahead and wearing them.
Well, I mean, I try to wear a staff shirt or a teaching shirt with it to kind of dress it up. But, I like to be able to get down on the floor with my kids. We do a lot of art projects. Kindergarten's a little messy, so I hated to mess up my nice dress clothes. And, as a first-year teacher, I don't really have a big, closet of work clothes. I'm still kind of got a lot of college clothes.
Oh, I understand. Well, the shirts are totally fine. I completely understand. Maybe you could just pair them with like a khaki or a pair of black pants or something.
Okay.
And I understand that we don't make a ton of money, but hopefully you can find a few good staple dress pants to wear throughout the year.
I can look for those over the summer.
Yeah, maybe you can hit some sales. Okay. All right, and cell phones. I know that I love that you always have your cell phone on you because I've required that everyone has it on them in case of an emergency and things. I just remember that like during meetings we have them on vibrate, and then during the school day just make sure that they can be on your desk and things like that, but we're not checking them, okay?
Okay.
You have your breaks, you have lunch, you have planning time, recess time, and things like that, and you're welcome to check them then.
Okay.
Just make sure when the kids are in the classroom we're not looking at that, just to be sure. just making sure that we're on time for school. Rushing in late and things like that just kind of starts the kids off kind of crazy.
Okay.
And things like that. 8:15 is really when I need you guys to be here. And if there's an emergency, I understand, but just try and get here on time and make sure that emergencies aren't happening every day or anything like that.
Okay.
Okay. Capturing Kids' Hearts, how are you feeling with that?
You know, I loved the training, and I definitely see some things that are good in it. But some of it's hard to get to during the day. I mean, I feel like I'm doing a great job with my greeting, meeting them in the morning. I do a pretty good send off, but some of the other stuff, it's just hard to squeeze it in.
Yeah, I understand. Have you talked to Gina Tipton?
No, she's on the other end of the building.
She is on the other end of the building. It's quite a walk. She seems to really be being able to implement everything.
Okay.
She might be somebody you want to talk to. I noticed your greeting and your launch are perfect. I love the way your launch is wonderful. I've actually been talking to a few people about maybe coming and watching you do your launch.
Great, yeah.
Yeah. The one thing I've noticed is your social contract. I don't think you're utilizing it the best way that you can. I would like to see it posted where kids can see it and maybe going over it every day, front loading those behaviors you don't want to see and complimenting the ones you do see and things like that. I think that could really help with your classroom climate.
So I've got to go over that whole contract every single day?
You wouldn't have to go over every single day. You could pick one or two things on it. For example, if you have raise your hand, you could say, hey, I noticed Susie was raising her hand today. I really want to see who else is going to follow this social contract. And usually you should only have about 10 things on it. So really it wouldn't take long to just hit on it each day after we do the pledge. It would be a great time to do it.
So if I just kind of notice a problem in my classroom, then I might refer back to that social contract and just kind of hit on that and just pick up one or two things each day. And
yeah.
Okay. I thought I had to go over the whole contract every day, and that just takes forever.
Yeah, do what fits best for you, but definitely I want you to still use it.
Okay.
I just think that it's such a key component in capturing kids' hearts. And if we're not even talking about it, then the kids aren't really going to even know what it's there for.
Okay.
So if you can't find the time to go over it every single day, then at least hit 2 to 3 points that you're really looking for and 2 or 3 things that you really want to work on. And like I said, Gina Tipton would be a great person to really talk to because I think she's really finding different ways that might work in your classroom as well. And she's a great person to learn from. And so to work on these things, like I said, I want to give you the tools you need. And so Debbie Harper is your mentor.
Okay.
I think it would be great to have you guys meet. I would like to meet with you, and we can talk about some of the things we want to work on to have a better second year. And maybe whenever I give out I'll give you your schedule early so that she can sit down and kind of make sure that all these components are in it and how we can get everything into your schedule. And I would like to look over your schedule and see if we're utilizing the time the best that we can.
That sounds doable.
Okay, great.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it. I feel like I've kind of got some tools to use and make next year even better than this year was.
Yeah, I think it definitely will be. Thank you.
All right.